Good morning, Mr. William Shakespeare, and welcome to Lizzie's Chit Chat Show.
Good morning, Lizzie. It is of my utmost pleasure and honor to be present with such outstanding audience. All the world's a stage, and all men and women merely players. Yet I love this stage so much, for love is not love which alters where its alterations finds, so I love this stage.
Calm down, you vociferous crowd of imbeciles. Okay, William, would you like to give us a brief, insightful summary into your play King Lear?
It is most pleasurable. I will now be stating the summary. King Lear, the aging British king, decides to step down from throne and divide his kingdom amongst his 3 daughters, whom he tests and are asked to tell him how much they love him. Gunwale and Regan, Lear's older daughters, gave flattering and untruthful answers. Yet Cordelia, Lear's youngest and favorite daughter, states that she has no words to describe her love for her father. Lear rages and disowns Cordelia, whom the King of France proposes to and marries without her father's consent. Cordelia accompanies her husband back to France. Upon having his authority undermined by Gunwale and Regan, Lear quickly realizes he has made a bad decision, going gradually insane. Fleeing his daughter's house is to wander, followed by his fool and by Kent, a nobleman in disguise. Meanwhile, an elderly nobleman named Gloucester, tricked by his illegitimate son into believing that his legitimate son will kill him, expels his legitimate son Edgar into the wild. When Gloucester realizes that Lear's daughters have betrayed their father, he decides to help Lear, who is accused by Regan and her husband Cornwall and turned out to wander the countryside as well. He is eventually led by his disguised son, Edgar, to Dover, where Lear also is. In Dover, a French army led by Cordelia invades England to save her father. Edmund becomes romantically attracted to Gunwale, the two conspiring to kill Gunwale's husband, Albany, due to his gradual sympathy to Lear's cause. Gloucester tries committing suicide but is saved by Edgar. Meanwhile, the English defeat the Cordelia French, with Lear and Cordelia captured. In the climactic scene, Edgar duels with and kills Edmund. Gloucester dies. Gunwale poisons Regan out of jealousy and commits suicide. Edmund betrays Cordelia and has her executed in prison. And Lear dies finally due to grief over Cordelia's death.
It is such a poignant and compelling play, no less than what everyone would expect from you, right, William?
Well, your friend Jane Austen did fairly well in creating you as well. I love Mr. Darcy as well.
Okay. Would you mind telling us about the themes of your play then?
Sure, why not? Coming first is the theme of justice. Justice is the first theme that appears in the play of King Lear, which is a brutal play filled with human cruelty and awful disasters. The play's series of unfortunate events raises the question of whether justice exists in the world, or whether the world is essentially hostile to mankind. Various characters perceive that the gods kill humans for their sport. Though there is goodness in the world of the play, insanity and death also accompany the goodness, making it difficult to decide whether justice or evil triumphs in the end. Coming second is the idea of authority against chaos. The play revolves around political authority and family dynamics. Lear is not only a father but also a king that gives away authority to the malevolent sisters, delivering not only himself but also the whole of Britain into anarchy. As the two indulge in their desire for power, The kingdom deteriorates and the stable, hierarchical order that Lear initially symbolized gradually falls apart as the King Lear himself declines in state as well. The failure of authority in chaos is recapitulated in Lear's wanderings during the storm, as he witnesses the insignificance of mankind, and the susceptibility of mankind to easily falling into chaos.
Finally is the main theme of reconciliation, the one that I love the most. I was crying when I wrote the last details containing this theme. Darkness and melancholy pervade in the play, and the devastating ending makes the play one of the most classic tragic endings in literature. Nonetheless, the play presents a central relationship between Lear and Cordelia as a form of sacrificial love, in which Cordelia has remained devoted to her father even from afar. Lear also learns a tremendously cruel lesson and eventually reaches the state where he may reconcile with Cordelia and experience her love. Lear's recognition of the error of his ways is vital to his reconciliation, his maturation enabling him to bring his daughter back to his good graces. The love he juxtaposes with the darkness of the plot, and makes the love ever so dramatically conspicuous and beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, don't cry, William. It's all right. Would the audience please keep quiet for no? Would you like a tissue? Or can you elaborate on the motifs?
I am fine. One theme I would like to draw attention to would be insanity. Insanity consists of a central problem in the play and is associated with both disorder and hidden wisdom. The fool that offers Lear insight in the early sections of the play offers his counsel in an indecipherable manner. Later, the turmoil within Lear himself descends upon his kingdom, causing chaos to happen. Concurrently, Lear also is given important wisdom by being reduced to bare humanity, deprived of all royal pretensions. From this, Lear learns humility. There is also betrayal. Betrayal plays a significant role in the play, showing the workings of wickedness in both families and politics. In this play, brothers betray brothers and children betray fathers. The play suggests that traitors inevitably turn on one another, depicting how Gonal and Regan fall out when they both become attracted to Edmund.
Well, Gonal and Regan are fairly stupid, ludicrous, preposterous, pompous, delirious, malevolent, surly, brutal.
As to the storm, that would be a symbol, I believe. As Lear wanders in a desolate heath in Act 3, a ferocious storm rages overhead, echoing the main characters' inner turmoil, mounting madness, and confusion. Concurrently, the storm also embodies the potency of nature, which compels the helpless king to recognize his fragility and humility. The storm may also be a display, a pathetic fallacy of divine justice, as if nature itself is angry about the events in the play.
Dear William, thank you very much. Any other symbols to talk about though?
I shall say that there are two more. One should be mutilated body parts and blindness. Gloucester's blindness is displayed both physically and metaphorically, mentally, paralleling himself and Lear, drawing attention to how both are blind to the truth and banish the loyal children and make the wicked ones theirs. Only when both are blind do they realize their errors, and this concept is reinforced in Act 4 where the two commiserate about their blindness too. The truth about their children. Another symbol should be the crown. Typically, monarchs wear crowns atop their heads to symbolize a visual symbol of power. In this play, Shakespeare often associated crowns with a loss of power and the king's deteriorating mindset. At the beginning of the play, Lear's fool makes an interesting joke about the king's crown after Lear decides to give his kingdom to his daughters, implying that once Lear divides his power, he will exercise poor judgment in his head. In Act 4, Scene 6, the mad Lear enters the stage wearing a crown of wildflowers on his head, insinuating his actual mental instability.
Thank you very, very much, William. Just wondering, can I call you Bill from now on? That's it for tonight's Lizzie's Chit Chat Show. Let's hear it again for Bill. You can now return to your grave.